Hello, my name is Austin Shaw, and today I'm doing a video presentation on Do Pickup Lines Work? With the style and theme of TED Talk, I would like this to be interactive, but also entertaining. First, we're just going to basically go through what my experiment was. So I'm a college freshman now. I've just recently graduated from high school. I am planning on making friends, mostly girls, because, friends. And anyway, I needed to find out what's the easiest way to make a connection with a friend. So what I consider a connection is finding a friend or someone on the street, engaging in a conversation with them, and then leaving the conversation wanting to stay in contact with that person, meaning either cell phone, email, Snapchat, or Instagram, and staying in contact with that person. For this specific experiment, I only used the phone number, so I asked for their phone number afterwards. I designed this experiment by having a 2 to 3 minute conversation with each one of my subjects. Now, in different ways, these were completely randomized subjects and random assignment of treatment to subject by flipping a coin before I met the subject in order to decide whether or not I was going to introduce myself by using a pickup line or introduce myself by saying, "Hello, I'm Austin Shaw, I'm going to Cal Poly next year." This was a very interesting experiment. I did it in Disneyland, so it would have been more of a cluster sample because we had students from all over the California coming together in this one night. It was grad night. Although there may be some confounding variables and just variables that I did not account for, like maybe the shyer people were definitely not in lines in the rides at 1 o'clock in the morning and 12 o'clock in the morning. Another one is that the people that I talk to may be more open to meeting me because it's the nighttime, and it may be different when we do this during the day in real life. But overall, I think it definitely explained and showed that its conclusion is definitely the conclusion I could have assumed. Now, first, I would think that my conclusion would be somewhere around there is a statement of no difference. H null is right. But it would be interesting to see if we concluded that pickup lines do work better. So we're going to dive straight into this 2-sample z-test for proportions. And just with the beginning, let's jump right into the state. With our state here, we see that H null is that P1 equals P2. This is a statement of no difference. HA, P1 is greater than P2. This is a statement of difference in which our proportion 1, which is the proportion of people that are responding to the pickup lines by giving me their cell phone number after the end of the conversation. And proportion 2 over here, the people that I entered the conversation by saying, "Hey, I'm Austin Shaw, I'm going to Cal Poly," before beginning the conversation and then eventually asking for their phone numbers. Our alpha level will be 0.05, and overall, we're just looking at college freshmen, which is basically all of the seniors on this trip were only seniors, and that's all that was allowed on the grad night trip. So they will all be college freshmen next year. That is our population of interest. Now, as we move into the plan here, we have 3 different required conditions to meet before we can proceed with our 2-sample Z procedure. Z test for proportions. Now, random, we meet this because there was random assignment of treatments to subjects. This was used by flipping a coin before I found my subject. I flipped a coin, and then I engaged a conversation with the subject. This definitely changed the game because I was either allowed to use a pickup line or just come in with my natural self. Independent, each one of these were independent. I made sure to give sufficient time in between meeting one person and meeting another that no one could possibly have seen me move from one person to the other, and this would definitely help me out in being able to make sure that everyone made their own decision on whether or not they should give me their phone number. Lastly, the normal condition. The normal condition is met, or is not met actually, because the normal condition is only met when P1 times Q1, or P1 times N, P1 times N is greater than 10, P2 times N greater than 10. Neither one of these is true. Qn, Q1n, and Q2n also have to be greater than 10 each. None of these are true. However, it is a robust procedure. However, we will see that this small sample size does lead to some confusing results in the conclusion. if I were to repeat this experiment, which it is repeatable, it is an experiment, then I would probably use a larger sample size, and I would probably go to somewhere where it's not as much based around the fun of Disneyland, but more like on a college campus, like I may be doing this coming fall. I will have to make friends, so this definitely helped me out with that. Now let's move on to the do. Now these were all done on my calculator because I didn't want to waste your time writing everything out. The z ended up being 0.732, which means that 0.732 standard deviations to the right of our center of our normal probability curve, or of our normal curve. See, here's our normal curve. Here's 0. Here's around 0.732. We're going to shade in this area over here, and we're going to call that our P. Our P right here, P value, 0.232, right there. That's that. Our P1, 6 out of 8 girls gave me their phone number when I used a pickup line, and 4 out of 7 girls gave me their phone number after not using pickup line. So overall, still successful, still got some numbers, got the digits, you know. But our p-value was 0.232, which is greater than our alpha level of 0.05. So because our p-value of 0.232 is greater than our alpha level of 0.05, we have to fail to reject H null. This is not sufficient evidence to conclude that there is a statistical significance between the amount of girls that would give me their number when I introduced myself using a pickup line and when I introduced myself without using a pickup line and just talked to them like the normal self that I am. What this really means for my life is that 10 out of 15 girls gave me their phone numbers, and I like those odds going into college at Cal Poly, where there's going to be lots more girls than just 15. So I think this is really interesting. It really brought me out of my comfort zone when I definitely had to talk to some people that I didn't really know very well at all. I didn't know at all, and it was a little scary at first, but overall I had great fun. Thank you so much for recommending this, Mr. Lee. It was just an awesome project altogether. So thank you so much for a great year. I'm glad I ended your class well. Hopefully this will help me end your class even better. And I'm sorry you have to grade so many of these. So I'm going to stop wasting your time. Thank you so much.